We're on now. Good. Always. Yeah. What like the bartender in Love Boat? Yeah. As an Iowa native, that meant something to me because, of course, Fred Grandy was on that show as Gopher, and when he ran for political office, they stopped showing it because they said it was unfair self promotion as a candidate. Ah, so, yeah, a reminder of my childhood. Although I think he ran for office shortly after the show ended, but hey, syndicate reruns, who knows? But oh yes, now for the regularly scheduled jokes. There we go. Good transition. Uh, I'm still eating Christmas themed cereal because I'm usually buying in advance. Hey, sometimes it goes for cheap after the holiday, same as the candy. So why not? I think when I got to the one I have now, which is Captain Crunch, it was going for $1 at the Hy-Vee and Egan because it was the day after Christmas. They wanted to get rid of it. But the one that I most recently ate is Elf on the Shelf, and it's made by Kellogg, and I wasn't familiar with that, but it's like, well, you can Google things. You can see the Wikipedia article. And I was very interested about the phenomenon of the franchise. I guess they do have variations of it, such as the Jewish version being Mensch on a Bench, and the Israeli baseball team gets the mascot of the World Baseball Classic, according to Wikipedia. It started out as a children's book, same as Shrek did, except I've seen the Shrek movies. I didn't see the TV special for Elf on a Shelf. Some were critical of it, saying it was just trying to sell toys. And it's like, well, yeah, usually it is. Those Christmas TV specials usually are trying to sell something. I mean, it really doesn't matter if it's Charlie Brown or Garfield. I mean, you're criticizing something for what it is. That just don't make sense. Kind of like a writing instructor said, you hate an apple because it's not an orange. You hate something for what it is or it isn't. Don't make sense. But I also like knowing that it was parodied on The Simpsons, so it's like, well, I guess that means it has achieved immortality, just like when you've been parodied by Weird Al Yankovic. And now I'm looking at an old portrait. How nice. And still doing a 2-movie weekend, too. Still doing a Redbox rental. The most recent one was Grand Isle, a thriller starring Nicolas Cage and Kelsey Grammer. Yes, Kelsey Grammer is playing more than just Frasier. And I like thrillers, and it kept my attention, so what's not to like? And then I know Danielle Amiela saw my Facebook posting about the other one, which was seeing the movie Gaslight from the 40s. I know there are 2 versions of it. I think the one I saw is the American version, which was the later one, with Ingrid Bergman and a very young Angela Lansbury, who, of course, I know from Murder, She Wrote. And yeah, I'm thankful I saw that movie. It reminded me of things in my own life where I finally took control of my own life and stopped from gaslighting me anymore. See the light, as the saying goes. I'm still seeing weird things out there too. I wrote down, it's like, wow, other things that remind me of other parts of my life. There was some online article about a DoorDash driver unhappy with their tip taking back the food. I delivered pizza for Pizza Hut when I was young, but I don't think that I ever had that option of taking back the food because I didn't like the tip. Now, I know there was one time where there was a hoodlum from my school that tried to take the pizza before paying for it. I said, no, pay me. And he did. He also,
and it was a good tip. Like, they gave her an $8 tip, and she still got mad and left.
Oh, you saw that article. All I saw was the article, the article's headline. I didn't bother to read further. It all depends on what it's about. It's like that latest Schwarzenegger video where he was trying to make a point with a Conan sword. And it's like, well, when I Googled Conan, the first thing I found was Conan O'Brien. Even though, yes, I know Arnold played Conan the Barbarian, not everybody's going to think that way, especially when it was so long ago. But I guess that's yeah another weird thing that we've been seeing out there. Yeah, taking back the food. Yeah, I delivered pizza when I was young, and yeah, that one about the hoodlum. Yeah, he paid me, but I also didn't like how it seemed to be a preview of some of the things that I deal with at the comedy clubs at the time. What is it? The gotcha mentality, where he was trying to bait me into using a racial slur by using him using it first, and it's like, no, you're not going to do that to me. I guess suffice it to say, it's what some people would call knocking and running. And it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. That's what I learned a long time ago. Don't take the bait. And I know that when I went back to Pizza Hut that night, I said I was annoyed by that delivery, and I guess the manager had probably heard worse stories than that. It's like, well, I just don't like him. He paid you, didn't he? Yeah, but that doesn't mean I had to like the whole damn experience. I mean, who would? I know I still see weird things while I'm out walking as well. I walk past different bus stops, and at one of them, I guess I've called myself a trash vigilante before, where I throw out trash that other people won't. And I just can't believe that people right by a bus stop, and they just leave trash there when they don't bother to put it in the receptacle. It's like, are you that lazy? And I know that usually means if I see a drink container, I will dump it out and then dump it in the barrel. And that happened with a can of Pabst this week. And when I was dumping out, I said, why do I like the smell of beer so much? Is it because it reminds me of my old man who likes drinking beer a lot? Maybe. That's all I've got on that one. And then a later bus stop story was, it was at the end of my walk where somebody was asking me about the bus there. I said, well, why don't you look at the shelter? Or I could have said, check your smartphone as well, because I know that you can send a text message and find out the schedule. Some people are just lazy. And then they tried to reason with me saying, well, we should have seen one by now. And it's like, well, there aren't that many after 10 o'clock. And then they wanted to buy a cigarette from me. I said, no, I don't have any. Well, I wasn't that far away once I started walking again. A couple minutes later, and the bus arrived. So it would have been wasted her money to have started a cigarette when she said, well, I hadn't seen one in 30 minutes, and they usually arrive every 30 minutes. I guess cigarette addiction must be a real thing if people are going to ask about that. I wouldn't know, but it's like, wow. So there was that. See, I know that even things at work are still weird, but I don't see a lot of people at work through the pandemic. Most people are working from home, but you still see facilities people checking on things. And there was somebody checking in an adjacent room, and I heard the whinny of a horse, and it's like, oh, it's just the ringtone on their cell phone. But I still would have expected something different than that. I mean, when I was in a relationship, I had to test it one time, and I found out my then lady friend, yes, made the Charlie Brown theme song the ringtone for me because we're Charlie Brown fans. It's like, oh, okay, I guess your prerogative on that, but it's like, wow. I guess to each their own on the horse ringtone. Oh, and the other weird thing that I don't even bat an eye about anymore while on walks is I saw somebody peeing in a McDonald's parking lot. Now, granted, it was at night. We'll usually get away with it when it's dark, but it's like, well, I figured people were more discreet than that, like get out a pee bottle. I know that's what I do when you just can't wait and you need to take care of it now. And I just came back from oil change tonight, and I like how they're staying current on what they have on the video boards. I really like what they have. They're always very good at capturing the zeitgeist. Because the one I saw come back from the dealer said, Zoom with your family, not with your car. It's like, yeah, that would have meant nothing to people a year ago, but it sure does now with the pandemic. So yay for them. And they always do things around the holidays that are appropriate to the holiday, to St. Patrick's Day, Christmas, whatever. Sometimes I see them, sometimes I don't. And once I saw one in suburban Chicago said, stop taking pictures of the sign. Yeah, it's more like people are going to wreck. I get it, especially if you're the one driving, trying to take the damn picture. I get it. And again, people can be stupid. So I guess that'll do it for me. Thank you all. Been great.
Yay!